There's no doubt about it, a new era in application security has arrived, and it's being powered by generative AI. Today, we're taking a close look at Anthropic's Claude Code Security, a tool that's making some pretty big promises about changing the game for developers and security pros.
But with all that promise comes a huge question, one that I'm sure is on your mind too. As developers, as security people, we're trained to be skeptical, right? To check everything. So, can we really trust an AI with our most critical asset, our source code? That's the real tension we're digging into today.
All right, so let's get down to it. What is Claude Code Security? Well, think of it as an AI copilot, but one that's laser-focused on security. Its whole purpose is to find those tricky vulnerabilities, figure out what's causing them, and then suggest fixes right then and there, inside your workflow. The big idea is to stop the constant back and forth between your code and some separate clunky security tool.
To really get a feel for its impact, we have to look at it from the attacker's perspective first. We need to understand its power as a vulnerability scanner. This is what you could call its offensive capability. Basically, how good it is at hunting down flaws in your code before the bad guys do.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how it compares to the old-school tools, the traditional static application security testing, or SEST tools that many of us have used for years. Where those tools are slow, you kick off a scan and go get coffee. AI analysis gives you feedback almost instantly, and it tackles what is maybe the biggest headache for developers, the constant noise of false positives. By having a much better signal-to-noise ratio, the promise is that you're only focusing on what actually matters, and it all happens seamlessly while you work.
Okay, so it's good at finding flaws in our code. But that's only half the equation, isn't it? Before we let this thing anywhere near our repos, the tool itself has to be an absolute fortress. So now, let's flip the script and look at its internal security, what we'll call its defensive posture. And Anthropic is really hammering this point home. This isn't just some feature they bolted on at the end. They're saying that the entire system was designed from the ground up with one core principle. Keeping your code safe is priority number one.
So how does that actually work in practice? Well, this flow right here is the key. It's a permission-based system that puts you in the driver's seat. Out of the box, it can't do a thing. It's read-only. If it wants to edit a file or run a command to test something, it has to ask you first. You are always in control. You can approve it one time, or if it's a command you trust, you can add it to an allow list. The bottom line, nothing happens without your say-so.
And they didn't stop there. They've really layered on the protections. Any command it runs is sandboxed, so it's isolated from the rest of your system. It can't just write files anywhere at once, only inside your project folder. Dangerous commands like curl and wget, blocked by default. It's even got safeguards against prompt injection, where someone tries to trick the AI into doing something malicious. And of course, any API keys or credentials you use are encrypted. It's a real defense-in-depth approach.
And for those of us working in the cloud, which, let's be honest, is most of us, there's another layer. Every single session runs inside its own isolated single-use virtual machine. When you're done, that VM is completely destroyed. On top of that, you have strict network controls and a full audit log of every single thing that happens.
Now, with all this power, it's really tempting to think, great, the AI is here to solve all of our security problems. But let's pump the brakes a little. It's absolutely crucial we understand where a tool like this helps us and where human expertise is still king.
This table pretty much says it all. For finding known vulnerabilities at the code level, yeah, the AI is strong. But it's weak when it comes to understanding business logic abuse. That's when an attacker uses your application's features in weird, unexpected ways to break things. And when it comes to true creative exploitation, chaining together a bunch of small, unrelated flaws to create a massive security hole, the AI has nothing. That is still a uniquely human skill. So here's the key takeaway. Things like manual penetration testing and red teaming, where you have a team of experts whose whole job is to think like an attacker and try to break your system, that's not going anywhere. We still need human experts to understand the business context, to think creatively, and to simulate the complex attacks that an automated tool just can't even imagine.
So, given all that, the incredible strengths and the very real limitations, what does the arrival of a tool like this mean for the cybersecurity market as a whole? Because believe me, it's already starting to shake things up.
Now, the impact isn't going to be the same for everybody. As you can see here, the companies feeling the most heat are the legacy players who only do traditional static analysis. For them, this is a major wake-up call. They have to adapt, and fast.
On the other hand, the big, diversified security platforms are in a much better spot. They can simply integrate these new AI capabilities into their existing suites and just keep getting stronger.
Which really brings us to the most important question. The conversation is always framed as a competition, AI versus humans, but maybe that's just the wrong way to look at it. The real question we should be asking is, how do we create the ultimate team? How do we combine the speed and scale of AI with the irreplaceable creativity and intuition of a human expert? Because that partnership, that's probably the real future of security. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.